What does it mean to be human? Is it merely our physical characteristics which define us? Or is it something deeper? Some might say that without morality, we are nothing more than animals. Perhaps that which we considered to define us is not that unique at all. Perhaps, like everything else about us, it is just a product of evolution. Morality itself is a loaded term, but to simplify, morality can be segmented into the concepts of is and ought. Is describes what morality currently is, with an understanding of how it got that way, while ought is a prescriptive notion of how one ought to act. Evolution granted humanity the ability to think morally, or at least have feelings considered to be moral intuitions, but human thought pushed us from that position upwards and onwards. This video will focus on the questions surrounding where this sort of human intuition came from, rather than answering philosophical questions of how humans ought to behave. Every trait an organism possesses is subject to the harsh realities of natural selection, from hair color to the amount of webbing between digits to functions of the brain. Psychology is as much variable to natural selection as physical characteristics are. Because the psychology of animals can be fine-tuned, the more advanced a creature is mentally, the more that is up to influence from natural selection. The reliance on other organisms for survival in a larger familial or even social structure can lead to the development of a different psychological makeup, which can help animals interact with their group in a more beneficial way for survival. A sort of framework for morality. It is simple. A group member who does not add to the overall fitness of the group is less likely to spread on their genes. One who does add to the group, to a certain extent, will spread on their genes. Therefore, an organism which balances selfishness and altruism will have the highest fitness. It is even beneficial in a gene survival sense to sacrifice oneself for family or a group member, because close kin are likely to carry copies of that same allele, which means that greater reproductive success for kin likewise propagates copies of that allele. Even now, in a world full of strangers in which altruism would not necessarily increase an individual's fitness, a phenomenon such as this can be explained. For the hundreds of thousands of years humans have evolved, small tribes were the norm, so it would be beneficial to behave altruistically towards most people you interact with. This also leads into another point about the environment. Humans were adapted for an environment set from 1.8 million to 10,000 years ago, mostly in Africa. Humans were not evolved for living in the confined and crowded spaces of the modern city, which is only 6,600 years old, so natural selection may have yet to catch up to technology. This solves some of the confusion surrounding how evolution could explain altruistic behavior. However, it has been over 400 generations since humanity's environment of evolution, so it is not surprising that humans' mental processes have evolved considerably since then due to natural selection. Even still, the general framework for morality, which is the sense of balance between selfishness and altruism, is still ingrained within humans today.
For the evolutionary morality, development of language enhances the formation of morality in big time. Based on Joseph Polshak's thesis, language let the group survive through natural selection with stronger bond and moral code. Before the species used language, the concept of morality still existed to form a group, but inefficient physical punishment was needed to teach and pass down to the group members. However, the language let people learn what is right and wrong much easier than before. For example, when one group member smashed other with the rock, he would get punished, but without the language, it is hard to know what behavior led one to get punished. It could be the tool he used, or it could be the choice of victim was wrong. It takes more time and cost to pass down the exact agreed moral code among the group. On the other hand, with the language, every group member is able to acknowledge the right and wrong behavior, and they also can punish the selfish one with more efficient way. There's other famous theory that our concept of morality has evolved with the behavioral strategies, such as tit for tat and golden rule. Tit for tat is eye for eye behavior that treat other like other treated you, and golden rule is behavior that treat other like you want to be treated. There's rules that one should treat other like one would want to be treated, and should not behave selfishly because they would be treated same, or at the base of the morality that what we ought to do and ought not to do. This aspect of morality started from natural selection, continue to evolve even nowadays. It is easily observable that with the social media, where people are so passionate with punishing those who are behaving unethically and rewarding those who are behaving altruistically, it is higher stage than tit for tat or golden rules. People are watching each other really closely to behave morally. For example, Me Too movement and all the social movements, people put their best effort to seek and dig up the group members that behave against the moral code and do not hesitate to punish them verbally, judicially, and even physically. On the other hand, for the people who behave altruistically, people are willing to make the donation for them and spread the words out voluntarily. The concept of morality developed with the behavioral strategies, and it has not ceased to evolve.
All in all, our fundamentals of morality are a product of evolution. They arose from many factors, including the necessity for group survival, our advanced social structure, language, and behavioral strategies. Human cognition then took the reins of morality and has begun steering it in a different direction, while simultaneously evolving along the way. It's a complex topic, and it's okay to not fully grasp it quite yet, but just consider this. Maybe what it means to be human is not merely our evolved sense of morality, but rather our ability to create our own.